that's a vote against the leadership, that's a vote against your party. Most of them don't enjoy being hung up that way. And what the leadership normally says is, look, you can vote against the bill, but don't vote against the rule. And that's what we're trying to keep from happening here.
Las Vegas, Roger. Good morning, Roger.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Delegate Holmes, Norton.
Good morning.
I just wanted to indicate I'm a former resident of Washington, D.C., and I guess for the listening on also television audience, I just wanted you to clearly explain the fact that you don't have a vote in Congress. How does that affect the operations of Washington, D.C., specifically with just the actual just operation of the city and also the shared functions that D.C. has to have with regards to education and those kinds of things?
And you do have a right to vote in committee, on legislation in committee. So on top of that viewer's question, can you sort of explain the difference there?
Yeah, that's a very important question. I praise the House under Republicans and Democrats for maximizing my ability to bring home something for my constituents. I chair of a subcommittee, an important one. I vote in committees. I even wrote a memo that allows me to vote on some matters in the House floor, but I can't vote on that final vote on whether you go to Iraq or whether your taxes get raised or not. I give you an example of how it deprives my residents. The District of Columbia local budget, raised entirely in the District of Columbia, is the only local budget that can ever come here. It comes to the House. I can't even be on the Appropriations Committee. Because to be on the Appropriations Committee, you have to be able to vote for the appropriation. And mine is the only budget that comes here. Gives you an idea of what not having the vote means. It means you don't have the vote on your own budget when it goes to the House floor. And it means you can't vote. Indeed, you can't even be in the committee that has oversight over the budget raised in the District of Columbia, not a cent of money from the federal government. You can't even be on the committee that considers that. That's an example of the injustice, of the insult to the residents of the District of Columbia, depriving them of the vote.
One last phone call for you here. Laura from Pasadena, Maryland. Good morning.
Good morning, Delegate Holmes.
Good morning.
It's a pleasure to speak with you.
Thank you.
I watched the Ensign Amendment go through the Senate. I understood completely what it meant. I also read it. I listened to Senator Feinstein's moving speech against it. I watched 63 members voted for it, apparently not understanding what it entailed. I contacted everyone I could. I am officially a Democrat, so I contacted my representative. I contacted my senators. I contacted Nancy Pelosi, the president. I just couldn't believe it. I was like, people just don't get this. It's taking away all gun laws.
Well,
who would be in favor of that?
No, that is the real question. Who would be in favor of having a nation's capital, the kind of centerpiece of the war on terror, without any gun laws? Yes, 63 senators, and I hope the reason is, and I think the reason is, they didn't know what was in it because it came on at the last minute. The Ensign Amendment is an amendment, as it's called, this amendment that takes away all the gun laws, allows gun running, allows you to bring guns to work, is a reckless, irresponsible bill. I even wonder whether Senator Ensign knows what's in it. Whether or not he does, I'm going to make sure everybody knows what's in it, because when you vote for this, and there's blowback at some point in the future, if you ever get to vote for this, and there's blowback at some time in the future, then you'll know who's responsible. I think knowing what's in it will mean that people will draw back from such a reckless, irresponsible thing to do in the nation's capital. And I appreciate all of those who are passing the word around like this caller.
This is the Newsweek story that I referred to earlier. The headline is Obama gets gun shy. Despite a recent spat of killings, the president and fellow Democrats choose not to wage war on assault weapons. Do you need more help from the administration?
I sure do. And I'm pleased that they did send a witness to from the Homeland Security Department or agency when I had my hearing last week. Look, we're having a instability right on our shores in Mexico. 95% of the guns that are causing the carnage in Mexico.